First, I'm going to start with my audience.
Maria, Sandra,
Alejandra.
Jesus.
Miguel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Paola Aguilar, and I'm going to be discussing the lunch for all in public schools. Can you imagine being a young student and getting close to being in the middle of the day? You have been waiting for this day since you have received the lunch calendar because you will be serving your favorite meal. You haven't been able to focus all morning because you didn't have the breakfast and you have been dreaming of eating your favorite meal. Finally, it is lunchtime. You get in line, you choose your favorite entree as well as the rest of the meal. You go to the lunch lady and put in your ID, only to realize you do not have enough money on your account. The lunch lady then takes the food away and hands you a sack lunch with the cheese sandwich. You quietly eat it because you are hungry, but you don't feel comfortable because other students are looking at you and whispering among themselves. Are they singling you out or are they just making fun of you? Regardless, you feel down for the rest of the day. This is just a scenario that happens every day to many students across the nation. In my presentation, I'll be discussing why we need to make lunch free for everyone in the public school system, as well as the problems school lunches are currently facing, the possible solutions that we can enact to make the lunch free, as well as the benefits that will come as a result of making the free lunch for students. Although many students in public schools across America receive free lunch, not everyone does. According to the Food Research and Action Center, 21.6 million low-income children participate in the National School Lunch Program on a typical day in 2015 and 2016 school year. Some students do not receive free lunch, and if they do not have money, they're given either a cold meal or no lunch at all. Some students depend on this meal for the whole day. Some students are ashamed if they owe money or cannot afford lunch. In an article from CNN discussing this topic, it mentioned that in some cases, penniless kids are even forced to wear stamps, stickers, or wristbands that mark them having unpaid lunch debt. Some students are bullied by other students if they do not have lunch. Now that I have mentioned the problem not giving everyone free lunch can cause, let us get into the solution and how we can make it happen. In all public schools in America, make lunch free for everyone. The easiest way to get a federal law in act is to give free school lunch to all students in public schools, not only low income. The government can add additional tax to help cover the free school lunches. That way, all citizens in this country are helping our young generation. If the government doesn't enact the law, each school district can do fundraisers throughout the year to have enough funds. Some of the possible fundraisers include carnivals, door-to-door sales by students, donation boxes at every school activity, ask for donations from local businesses, make a list of sponsors that are willing to pledge a certain amount of donation each year. Now that we have finished discussing some ideas to fund our initiative, let me mention the benefits. By giving free lunch to all the students in public schools, we will be seeing a lot of benefits. Students need sufficient nutrition to stay healthy and focused. We are able to eliminate any shaming or blaming associated with school lunch. School officials do not feel like debt collectors, nor do they carry any guilt of denying a lunch to a student. In an article from the Huffington Post, it revealed that a so-called lunch lady at Irving Middle School revealed she'd been fired on December 2018. Allegedly for giving a $1.70 hot lunch to a 12-year-old girl who couldn't afford it. Bowden says she offered to pay for the meal, but then her supervisor was displeased. In conclusion, I discussed why we need to make a lunch free for everyone in public school system, as well as the problems school lunch are currently facing, the possible solution that we can enact to make the lunch free, as well as the benefits that will come as a result of making the student lunch free. It is about time that we get rid of the negative consequences that are occurred when we exclude a children from a regular lunch, or even worse, leave them without a lunch. There shouldn't be any more stories like the one I mentioned at the beginning. Let us feed all of our students. Thank you.